Support for WYES is made possible by Mary Lou Kristovich in memory of her husband, William Kristovich.
Good evening, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Poppy Tooker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
good to see you. He's back, he has way too many great stories and we wanted him to share some more. Dr. Chris Senack, by day, orthopedic surgeon, but by night, author of many books, including Hard Scrabble and Hallelujah, Legacies of Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana. Welcome back.
Thank you,
hello. And stepping out, the talk critic, Alan Mason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News. But first up, doing good and doing well and getting to eat at the same time.
Oh, there are so many different food happenings going on this coming up week. And the first one of note is the first Eat Fit NOLA Dine Out. Now, Eat Fit NOLA is that great organization that Molly Kimball is very involved with, where we can eat well in restaurants all over the city. All you have to do is look for the little Eat Fit NOLA sign, and it's heart healthy and all of that good stuff. Now, this event is going to take place on Wednesday, August the 30th. Chef Carl Charbot, who is the chef, of course, at DTB. Carl is the chef ambassador of Eat Fit NOLA. And, of course, his restaurant, DTB, is participating, but there are over 30 different participating restaurants. And that is not including the ones with multiple locations. So this time you've got Copeland's with 6 locations and Cheesecake Bistro and all 3 locations of Spar's Seafood, the 13 PJ's Coffees, all 8 Reginelli's, and both of those including the Baton Rouge locations this is going on. And then interesting places, Fury's, La Cocinita food truck. I never saw a food truck participate. Green to Go, Ground Patty. You can find all the restaurants at eatfitnola.com, and it's for a very good cause. Then, also, Wednesday, from 5:30 till 7, you can start off your evening at Commander's Palace and taste 35 wines for just $39. The wines are being curated by Swirl Wines, and of course, there'll be lots of delicious nibbles provided while you're sipping. Now, talking about sipping and drinking, well, Lula Distillery and Restaurant has a very interesting promotion going on. They're running an all-you-can-drink vodka bar, and that goes on, and it's $20 for all you can drink vodka. And that is Saturday and Sunday brunch all the time, but they've just announced now it's for Saints game days. And on Saints game days, you can begin that all you can drink vodka at 9 a.m. And I guess, we'll see how the boys play this year. Maybe that's a good idea, or no, I don't know.
We wish them well this weekend.
We do. Then another event which has really gotten some legs, and that's why I wanted to make sure everybody who's interested in attending Dickie Brennan's Steakhouse Louisiana Grass-Fed Beef Indoor Picnic gets their tickets now. Just go to the computer, get the tickets, because it benefits the Edible Schoolyard New Orleans this year, and they are certain these tickets are about to sell out, so get them. It is an incredible deal. $80 down at the steakhouse. The chefs from all of Dickie's restaurants are going to be preparing various different cuts of Gonsolin Cattle Ranch's beef, their delicious grass-fed beef. From appetizers to dessert, you're going to have over 40 different items to choose from, like Caribbean spiced rum-glazed oxtail meat pies, ground beef sliders with a bone marrow aioli, beef cheek griots and grits, smoked sirloin steak with chimichurri, sirloin tacos. Are you beefed out yet? Smoked brisket with barbecued peach sauce, eye of round with a German roulade, beef Wellingtons. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And of course, you can wash it all down with Glenfiddich whiskey and Hendrick's gin cocktails, Stella Artois Belgian beer, and wines fit for a fancy downtown picnic. So it's a really good idea to be indoors on Wednesday, it's looking like. So have a picnic
Yes,
indoors
yes.
with Dickie Brennan at the steakhouse.
Just a sort of a quick P.S. Had a wonderful meal with friends at Gautro's, the culinary dinner the other night. So good.
The deal of the century,
It is
huh?
the deal of the century. It definitely is. So anyway,
You
thank
heard
you,
it
Ms.
here
Poppy.
first.
Yeah, I'm telling you, culinary. Thank you. It was so
Thanks,
much
Peggy.
fun. Thank you. And turning to Chris, I know that your passion is collecting information, especially about the Houma Terrebonne Parish area. Let's talk a little bit about some wonderful images in your current book, and I know you're already on to another book, but this time, we get to focus on World War II.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so take us through some of the amazing stories connected to that area.
We talk about a lot of things here that really nobody even remembers, because this is in World War II, which was 75 years ago. Okay. First picture?
Will you tell us? Okay, what
I'm
you
sorry.
wanna say.
I'm sorry. I'm a lead. Okay, the
You
first
get to lead here.
Okay, this
well,
is.
that's important. That's
yes,
the cover
it
of
is.
your book.
I'm sorry. This is the cover of the first of a 4-volume series, Hardscrabble to Hallelujah, The Legacies of Terrebonne Parish, and this is the cover of the second book. That's the home of Tobias Gibson, Greenwood Plantation in Gibson, the father of Randall Lee Gibson.
And that's the one that's coming up next.
Coming up,
right?
Volume 2.
Okay.
He's the first president of Tulane University.
Right,
This
Gibson
is
Hall.
the Naval Air
Okay,
Station.
this is in the current book.
In
Okay.
Houma, Louisiana. This is in the present book.
Yeah.
There were 6 naval facilities. This is one of the patches from the blimps. The blimps were named the Vincent Gombe, Jean Lafitte, Dominique Yu, Bayou Bomber, the Gombe, AC Ducey, and the Marauder. We had 8 blimps. There were 6 bases in the United States, 2 on the West Coast, Oregon and California, and 1 near Galveston in Hickok, Texas, Terrebonne, and Brunswick, Georgia, and by Homestead, Florida. And the reason it was so important is that the refineries were bringing crude oil to Texas, and then they were bringing the refined product back through the Gulf, and the Navy called it the Gulf Sea Frontier, which was the Gulf of Mexico from Brownsville, Texas to Key West. And in May of 1942, 24 German submarines sank 45 ships in 1 month off the coast of Louisiana. And in the next 4 months of 42, they sank 75 more. So we were in trouble, and the German U-boat captains called this their happy time. And by 43, by the end of 42, 43, they brought the subs from the Gulf to the Atlantic for the Battle of the Atlantic, so they left the Gulf and things slowed down. But they continued sinking ships here a long time.
Now, you also wanted to show a very special dignitary from...
Oh, yes.
That's an amazing... Okay.
Yeah, this is members of the Saudi royal family. The young fellow on the left, small, he's 11 years of age. He was in Houma in 1945. He had to come to the United States to get his tonsils removed, and he and his older brother came to Houma, Terrebonne, courtesy of the Texas company, and learned how to drill for oil. And the Texas company sent him back, and he recently passed away within the last 2 years.
And he was?
King Saud.
And so Aramco.
Aramco.
That was
yeah.
there, of course, the now legendary oil company.
Yes, ma'am. They showed them what to do. This is one of the blimps. There were 6 blimps per hangar. That's the largest wooden structure ever built in the United States. It was 1,000 foot long, 300 foot wide, a football field wide, and 225 foot tall. They spent $14 million, 1,760 or so acres, building the blimp base in 1942. These are POWs. From July of 1943 to June 1st of 1946, we had 425,000 prisoners of war in the United States, the majority in the southern states. We had about 20,000 in Louisiana. The 4 main camps in Louisiana were Camp Polk in Leesville, Ruston in Ruston, Louisiana, Camp Prochet here in Elmwood Shopping Center.
In Elmwood, isn't that something? That's where
yes,
the
I forget
POW
the other one.
was?
But anyway, the peculiar thing about that is here we go. We got the POW letters. Now the prisoners went back, and they were treated so nice over here that they wrote letters back to the farmers that they were working for here in the Houma Thibodeau area, and those were the small camps or the branch camps, the main camps up in central Louisiana, because the War Department said that you had to have 150 miles between the prisoner of war camps and the coast. So our politicians went around that and built branch camps. So technically they were living in Ruston, but they were working in Houma.
She was. Now, one thing that we wanted to do is to give your contact information, because you never know. One of our viewers just might have the photo that you're looking for, especially about that area, so you see that information.
And we'd appreciate anything you have relative to whatever's occurred in what we call the lower part, the wilderness area of Louisiana, Lafourche, Terrebonne, St. Mary parishes.
And once again, the current book is, of course, Hard Scrabble and Hallelujah, Legacies. Beautifully designed book as well. And it also reads well, too. So.
Thank you.
But it's just chock full of all kinds of great images, and it's something you really love to do.
I enjoy it. I'm learning. That's what's keeping me going.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And you also have award-winning books, and you had a book about the branding, the branding signs on cattle.
The history of the cattle branding in Louisiana. That was the Endowment of Humanities Book of the Year in 2014, and Hard Scrabble received the Endowment Award in 2017.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Pam Perrette named the classic Irma Thomas song that was about the weather, and its composer, that was It's Rainin', and the writer is Naomi Neville, the nom de plume of Mr. Alan Toussaint. Now, tonight's question. The song Louisiana was about a great flood. What year was the flood, and who recorded the song? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a year subscription to Louisiana Life magazine. And we have an apron tonight with the message, Peace, Love, and Vegetables from our friends at wearablevegetables.com. Also, a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, the Aquarium, which, by the way, is hosting Pirates and Princesses dress-up days on September 16th and 17th, or we have tickets for the Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. And we've got a New Orleans Public Service Transit Token T-shirt, as worn by WYES's new associate producer, Burke Bischoff. And to see more of this new T-shirt line by Skip Bolin, go to NewOrleansPublicService.com. You can visit WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events, including the New Orleans Symphony Chorus fundraiser at Antoine's. That's on Saturday. SymphonyChorus.org for more information about that. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to view our program. And now, though, we are so excited because we have a very special guest. We have New Orleans actor, playwright, performer, Dr. Butch Care. He's going to perform for us tonight a medley of songs that were all written by Toussaint and other local composers. They'll be familiar. He's going to play tonight for us It's Rainin', Mother-in-Law, and Lipstick Traces. Butch is currently performing the songs of Blueberry Hill in concert. He has created an evening of the beloved New Orleans R&B music of the 50s and 60s by local composers, including Mr. Toussaint. Catch him tomorrow night at 7:30 at Teatro Ouigo on Sala Avenue, and you can purchase tickets through gpas.org. Special thanks, by the way, we're really excited about this, to Carol and John Etter, because they have kindly donated to WYES a beautiful baby grand, and you'll get to see it. So now, here's Butch Care on the baby grand. Let's take a look.
It's raining so hard, looks like it's gonna rain all night. And this is a time when I'd love to be holding you tight, but I guess I'll have to accept the fact that you're not here. I wish this rain would hurry up and end, my dear. It's raining so hard, It's really coming down. I sit by my window watching the rain fall to the ground. This is the time I'd love to be holding you tight. I guess I'll just go crazy tonight. Mother-in-law, 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 the worst person I know. Mother-in-law, mother-in-law, she worries me so. Mother-in-law, mother-in-law, she thinks her advice is the Constitution, but if she would leave, that would be the solution. And don't come back no more. Mother-in-law, 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 mother-in-law. Lipstick traces on a cigarette. Every memory lingers with me yet. I'm telling you now, like I told you before, I'm so in love with you. Don't leave me no more. Leave me no more. Don't leave me no more. Leave me no more. Mother-in-law, mother-in-law, don't leave me no more.
The songs of Blueberry Hill in concert once again this Saturday at Teatro Ouigo at 7:30 at JPS Production. And a big thank you also to Stephen Edwards for facilitating our having the piano. And thank you again to the editors. We're so excited. And now it is time to join for our Artist Spotlight. We are featuring artwork by an Italian painter, jewelry designer, and writer, Mariana Canu. This is The Path. Born in 1971 in Sardinia, Italy, Canu moved to New Orleans in 1991 to establish her own jewelry company. And this is City Winds, a modern abstract painter. She focuses on the mathematical precision of geometrical shapes in most of her works. Her paintings can be found at the D.D. Martin Gallery, that's there on Magazine Street. Visit ddmartin.com for a complete list of works. And now time for Mr. Allen.
I understand.
Look at that suit.
I couldn't get the white one this time, so I got the pink one for you.
Pink seersucker, very fine. Okay.
I understand, though, that Butch Care's show is going to allow for maybe some dancing in the aisles. And that's going to be important because I have an announcement about dancing coming up shortly. Because there's really a little bit of a lull right now going on. A lot of the production companies are readying their first shows of the season. So you've got Le Petit getting ready to take us to Once on This Island. You've got Rivertown Theaters for the Performing Arts getting their show Guys and Dolls ready. NOLA Project's getting ready for Urinetown. And Southern Rep's, of course, going to take off the wraps of the regional premiere of Fun Home. So we're just sort of waiting, getting up to Labor Day, and then the doors are going to open up to all these theaters, and we're going to have lots and lots of theater. But what to do in the meantime? You know, here's an idea. Why don't you take a stroller? Maybe you should take a foxtrot over to the BB Stage Door Canteen this weekend especially, and coming up on September the 9th. They've got a large 15-piece orchestra. That's the Victory Swing Orchestra. And you can have some food from the American Sector Restaurant. Reservations are still available for tomorrow and 2 weeks from now on September the 9th. Again, a great night, and again, a great music. Those of you who want to go back to that era. And if you're not from that era, maybe you'd like to experience it once and really have that definitive experience. Now, that's in 2 weeks. They're going to have the second of the two shows. And speaking of 2 weeks, the Valiant Theater is going to be the venue for a brand new production company's inaugural production. This is going to be the Mighty Lincoln Company and their production of Oleana. This is a play by David Mamet. And, of course, the co-artistic director is John Niesler with his wife, Wendy. He'll be directing James Yergin and Ashton Ackridge in David Mamet's play, which I'm sure is going to have a great deal of adult situations about a college co-head and her college professor, some alleged improprieties and some legal maneuvering between the two. Expect very adult situations and probably with David Mamet some very adult language. Yes. But it does open in 2 weeks, and I did want to let everybody know about that. And of course, that is a new venue right past the parish line in Araby on St. Claude Avenue. Speaking of openings, the West Wego Performing Arts Theater is going to open next week. Now, that's, of course, the big theater that was in West Wego that was devastated due to roof damage and then, of course, resulting interior mold and what have you, mildew. So they've actually refurbished it. It's going to become a major JPAS venue. And who will it be that's opening up for that extended 3-week run? But none other than New Orleans' own, the Big Easy Boys. They're going to be having So Happy Together. And it's going to feature people like Rich Arnold and Mark Fucci, Frank Van Hoven, Scott Sauber, and other people. I would expect a lot of really great 4-part harmony from these fellows, and they do rotate in and out several people, so it's not going to be the same 4 people every show, but it should be great.
And
they always do fantastic. I was about to say, I hope that they'll be on too, because you always have a good time with them. Again, West Wego Performing Arts Theater, that's another JPAS show. Meanwhile, tickets went on sale today for Hal Holbrook in Mark Twain Tonight. And those of you who remember back in the late 60s, early 70s, Hal began doing this Mark Twain impersonation, if you will, but it's been a show he's done since then. But when he started the role, he didn't have, the gray hair. He had to put on gray hair makeup. Now he's a little bit up in age, but he's still acknowledged today, even now, as an authority on Mark Twain, and it should be a fantastic night of theater. Now, please note there is a change of venue. It's going to be at the Sanger Theater now on November 2nd. That will follow the 3-week run that is going to be having of Jimmy Buffett's Escape from Margaritaville. That's when they begin their national tour, right here at the Sanger Theater. So, again, Hal Holbrook, Mark Twain Tonight, one night only, Thursday, November 2nd, and the tickets are on sale as of today. If you had tickets, I understand that there was an early venue, but we will see what happens. I'm sure that they will honor them, but those of you should be noting that venue.
Okay,
there you go. That's pretty much it.
Thank you. And now time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Well, I can't resist Palm Souffle tomorrow night at Antoine's for an August night benefiting the New Orleans Symphony Chorus.
Yes, there are buds. They come on quite a few times a year and do a great job. And Dr. Sinek.
The Terrebonne Genealogical Historical Society, 1 o'clock tomorrow, Main Library, Terrebonne Parish. We'll be talking about the next book, Bayous Black in Buffalo, and the third book, Bayous Caillou and Chacahula.
Whoa, so you got them planned out,
Got them planned.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Rockin' Doopsie was just added to the lineup of fantastic stars at the Willow for the Rock Against Racism benefit concert for the Southern Poverty Law Center. Of course, everybody's joining together because of all of the events that happen in Charlottesville and trying to sort of band together but Rock Against Racism, that says it all.
Yes.
Okay?
And my picks, jazz musicians Olivier Bou and Matt Lemler will be performing a CD release concert celebrating their new collaborative album, Conversation. The concert will be held on Sunday at Snug Harbor on Frenchman Street at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Visit Snug Harbor's website to purchase tickets. The 12th annual Katrina Artistically Revisited concert event kicks off Monday. That's this Monday, of course, at the theaters at Canal Place. It's from 5 to 11 p.m. This special event serves as a gathering of participants willing to share their artistic response to Hurricane Katrina. Featured will be music performances by Armand St. Martin, and he and his wife Patty have put all this together. Presentations by Dr. Brobson Lutz and first responders. Also, there are screenings of the documentaries Big Charity and Second Line, Second Life. Admission is free except for a $5 charge to see Big Charity. And WYES will be hosting a booth at Culture Collision 9 on this August the 30th on Wednesday. And that's Culture Collision, gives attendees the chance to meet members of their favorite performing and visual arts organizations. You can purchase season tickets there. You can also seek out maybe some volunteer opportunities as well. So that's something to look forward to. The event is held at the CAC, of course, in the Warehouse District as well, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. and it's free. Looking ahead, don't miss Jazz in the Park's Burger Fest at Crescent Park. This 2-day festival will include a variety of musical talent, including Stephanie Mills and Stephanie Jordan, and also Denise Williams. And those ladies are going to be performing on Friday, September the 8th. Visit eventbrite.com for more information. And before we go, we have a moment to go back over to Dr. Sinek for one more good story.
One more good story.
About World War II.
Yeah, World War II. We had a German prisoner who stayed 2 years in Homa, and he got back to Germany. All prisoners had to leave the United States by June 1st, 1946. And he finally got back to Germany. And he wrote a letter back thanking his farmers for taking care of him. He loved the food. He said, when I arrived, I weighed 128 pounds, and when I left, I weighed 188. He gained 60 pounds.
So that'll do it.
They like the food.
Exactly. Well, thank you.
And on just a sad note, you know, we had one of our great actors from New Orleans, Jay Thomas, passed away. Involved with Orpheus in their third year as a celebrity monarch.
Old Jesuit boy.
And a Jesuit boy to the heart, yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry to continue in the sad note. We were so sorry, as we mentioned last week, about Rene Brunet. We're going to have a little tribute to him next week on Steppin' Out. And also, children's book writer Diane de las Casas. Shocking. Very prolific writer. And her daughter, kids chef Ileana, and that whole family. We're just so sad about that. But Diana was a hoot. I actually got to know her a little bit, and she was so much fun and so enthusiastic about her children. And as I said, a very, very prolific. Jeanette Downing, as a matter of fact, did a touching tribute on Facebook. Just incredible. So sorry to hear that, but looking for brighter days, but we think about that. So anyway, thank you all so very much. Great to see you. Want to have you back again. Maybe talk about oysters
It'll be fun.
in the fall. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for watching. Good night.